Hello, everybody. I want to go over some of the basics of how deadlines and grading works in class. So, for every unit we do, there's a document that looks like this that's sort of the table of contents. And what I do is I break units into what I call topics. And you can see the example here shows two topics in this unit on heat and matter. We've got topic one, density, topic two, heat transfer. And within each topic, you've got some lessons, you have some choices, and then a check-in. So the lessons are categorized as must do. So that means that, yep, everybody does the lessons. The choices here, what is in this document is a should do activity and aspire to do activity. Should do's, as we discussed, are, yep, you should do them. And most of the time they are review material, practice material. So to help prepare you for the check-ins. And the aspire to do is an extension, something a little bit above and beyond related to the content. And then there is a check-in. So this is a little quiz just on the content of that topic. And let's see if I can make that smaller. Then within the unit, we also have whole class activities and labs that are woven in. And then finally, there is an assessment, which most often is a project. Occasionally we do a test, but most often it's more like a project. Okay, deadlines. So in this table of contents, the right-hand column is for dates. And you can see I just have placeholders here right now. But the lessons have what we are calling soft dates. These are suggestions. So the hard dates are the check-ins and the assessments. So basically, I'm saying that for this topic, you have until the hard date to get the lessons completed. I'm giving you a suggested date to help you pace yourself. So if you follow the suggested dates, you'll be in good shape to be prepared for the check-in. But if you don't finish a lesson by the suggested date, there's no penalty. So long as you get them done before that check-in, you're fine. There's no penalty. Okay. Let's see, hard dates. So everyone takes a check-in on a hard date. And the goal is that you have finished the lessons before that. If it so happens that you didn't get all the lessons finished in time, yes, you will still take the check-in. That's what hard date means. Everyone does it on this date unless there's some reason that we've arranged an exception ahead of time. Let's see. Late assessments will receive partial credit. All right. So in general, grading is done on, it's essentially a 4-point scale, but instead of using the 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, they go into the grade book as percentages because that's how the grade book works. So notice that the first two categories here are both A's. So, if you have given the correct information, that earns you an A. The 100% score is reserved for those answers that really are exemplary. So a little bit above and beyond, something that could be posted as an example for other students to follow. So this is, for the really extraordinary work. 2 would be, not quite. You're almost there, but not quite, and that's your 85%. The not yet score varies sort of depending on the level of what still needs to be done. And then the 50% is basically, I can't give you a score. It's not accessible because it's largely incomplete or missing altogether. Okay. Grading categories. So your class grade is made up of 3 parts. 1/3 is an assessment grade. 1/3 are all the check-in grades for that topic. And then the final third are the lessons and whole class labs and activities. And I want to take a minute and show you how this topic grade is figured out. Okay, so we've got a little flow chart here. So thinking about the lessons within a topic, ask yourself, did you submit all the lessons before the check-in? So before that hard date. If the answer is yes, then the next question to ask yourself is, did you complete the Aspire to Do in addition to the lessons? And if the answer to that is also yes, then that puts you in that 100% category. So that's exemplary work. You did everything on time and you did the Aspire to Do. What if you didn't do the Aspire to Do? Well, that's still an A. You did all the required work, so you get your 95%. Going down now to what happens if you didn't get the lessons submitted on time. So now you're down here in the no. And so maybe you didn't get them done on time, but you did eventually do them. So that brings you up to your yes. And that means that for the topic, you've earned yourself an 85%. If, and hopefully we don't get here, but if those lessons never get completed, now you're down here. And then the final question to ask yourself is more than one lesson missing? So say there was only one lesson that you never did turn in, you're up here, you get a 75% for that topic. Or if hopefully this does never happen, but it's here on the chart, say you never turn any of the lessons, that, let's see, one or two, but there's still more than one missing, that's a 65. Finally down here, if nothing ever is submitted, then that's your 0 or 50%. Okay. What if a check-in does not go well? If you earn more than or equal to 75% on a check-in, you are cleared to proceed. You may choose to do a retake, and we'll talk about those in a second, but it's your choice. If you have earned less than a 75%, then yes, you are required to do the retake, and retakes can bring your score up to an 85%. So procedure for taking retakes is all spelled out on this form, and this form is always printed out and available at the front of the room. So you just come and grab it when you need to. And the instructions are all listed here on exactly how to proceed. But the overview is that first thing is that all those lessons must be done. So if you never got those done in time, first step is to complete the lessons. And then you need to create a review sheet for the topic, following the instructions in the should do assignment. And as I said, the specific instructions are here for you. And then you need to come make arrangements with me on when to take the retake. And as I mentioned earlier, that can bring your score up to an 85%. So you'd grab this sheet, follow the instructions, fill it out, bring it to me, okay? Assessments, yes, there are opportunities to retake assessments. The procedures are going to vary depending on the assessment, because depending on what that assessment looked like, we have to do it differently. But what will always be true is that redoing assessments happens with me. So it's not something that you complete at home and bring in. You have to come and do it in front of me. And the maximum retake score brings you up to a 75%. Okay, so what I want you to take away is that the philosophy, the way I've set this up, is I want you to be successful. And I've set this up so that basically I want you to be able to earn the grade that you want, so long as you're putting in a good faith effort. All right, so that is the overview.